There's a lecture hall at Stanford where the next generation of AI engineers is being trained. The people who will build the successors to GPT and Claude. Sitting in that room costs over $60,000 a year. This spring, Stanford recorded everything that happened in it, all 18 lectures, and put every minute on YouTube. Free, no sign up, no wait list. And almost everyone who saves that playlist will quit before lecture 2. Not because it's too hard, because nobody gave them a map. So that's what this video is. I went through the whole course, 24 hours of it, and turned it into a map. By the end, you'll know the 8 lectures that carry 90% of the value, the ones to skip without guilt. What each lecture actually lets you do the moment you finish it. And a 4-week plan to train your first language model on your own laptop using the same repositories Stanford students use. Let's start with what this thing actually is. It's called CS336, Language Modeling from Scratch, taught by Percy Liang and Tatsunori Hashimoto, two of the most respected researchers in language modeling. And from scratch is not marketing. Over 18 lectures, you build the entire pipeline behind every modern AI model. Tokenization, the transformer architecture, the hardware, scaling laws, data, and the training that turns a raw model into an assistant. The first lecture alone has over 130,000 views. This is the real thing, the same course Stanford students take for credit. But here's what the people sharing this playlist won't tell you. Stanford's own course page calls this a 5-unit, very implementation heavy class, and says you will write an order of magnitude more code than in other classes. It assumes you're fluent in Python and PyTorch. And several lectures only pay off if you're training models across a cluster of GPUs. Watching all 24 hours start to finish is how you burn out in week 1. You don't need all of it, you need the spine. So here's the map. Every lecture gets one of 3 stamps. Watch. It's core. Everyone needs it. If. Watch it only if a condition applies to you. Or skip. World-class content, wrong audience. Group 1. The foundations. Lecture 1. Overview and tokenization. Watch it. Tokenization sounds boring, but it's secretly the answer to half the weird things AI does. When a model can't count the letters in strawberry, that's tokenization. One lecture in, and you'll explain it better than most people shipping AI products today. Lecture 3. Architectures. Watch it. This is the transformer, layer by layer, from someone who builds them. And after it, model release notes stop reading like alphabet soup. Lecture 2. PyTorch. That's an IF. Fluent already. Skip it. Rusty? It's the gentlest on-ramp in the course. Group 2. The money lectures. Lecture 9. Scaling laws. Watch it. This is how labs decide whether to spend $10 million or $100 million before training a single step. You'll finally understand why models cost what they cost and why bigger is not always the answer. Lecture 10. Inference. Watch it, especially if you deploy anything. KV caching, batching. Why the same model can be fast or slow. This is the mechanics of your API bill. If you serve AI to users, this lecture pays for itself the same week. Quick pause. If this map just saved you 13 hours of lectures, that's the job of every video here. Real talk. 90% of you watching haven't subscribed. On Facebook, subscribe is the supporter button. That is what keeps the lights on here. On YouTube, it's free and it tells the algorithm to send you more. Subscribe to support us. And if these videos are earning it, YouTube memberships are how you back the next one. Half the map left, including the lecture that explains this year's entire AI frontier. Group 3, the part the big labs guard most closely: data and evaluation. Lecture 13, Data. Watch it. Architectures are public, data is the moat. This lecture shows what actually goes into a training set: the filtering, the deduplication, the ugly, unglamorous work that decides whether a model is good. Lecture 12, Evaluation. Watch it. Because after it, you can build a real evaluation for your own prompts and agents instead of eyeballing outputs and hoping. Lecture 14 is the deeper data dive. That one's an IF. Group 4, The Frontier. Lecture 15, Mid Training and Post Training. Watch it. This is how a raw text predictor becomes an assistant that follows instructions. And Lecture 16, Reinforcement Learning with Verifiable Rewards. Watch it. This is the technique behind the reasoning models everyone is talking about right now. Models trained not to sound right, but to be right on problems where the answer can be checked. Understand this one, and how AI headlines for the next year read completely differently. Lecture 17, Alignment and Multimodality, NIF. And the skip list, said with respect. Lectures 5 through 8 are the hardware deep end: graphics processors, custom kernels, Triton, parallelism. If you're going to hand optimize that stack or train across 100 chips, they're gold. If you're not, watch the first 10 minutes of Lecture 5 for the mental model, then move on. Lecture 4 on attention alternatives, and the guest lecture, fascinating but optional. And that's the whole course triaged. 8 core lectures, about 11 hours. Half the time, nearly all of the value. Here's the full board, all 18 verdicts on one screen. Screenshot this and send it to the friend who saved that playlist 3 weeks ago and never opened it. You know the one. Now, the half nobody talks about. The assignments are public too. 5 repositories on GitHub, the actual Stanford coursework. Assignment 1 is the crown jewel with nearly 2,500 stars. You implement your own tokenizer, your own transformer, and train a real language model on a dataset of tiny stories. And here's the part that surprises people: Stanford's own guidance is to debug on CPU first. You can build assignment 1 and train a small model on an ordinary laptop. The heavier ones, systems and reinforcement learning, need a rented GPU by the hour. But your first trained model, the laptop you're watching this on, is enough. So here's exactly what to do starting tonight. Tonight, open the playlist, Lecture 1 at 1.5 speed. 90 minutes becomes an hour. Week 1, Lectures 1 and 3. Then clone the assignment, one repository, and run the test suite. Every single test fails. That's the syllabus. Your job for the month is turning them green. Week 2, Scaling laws and inference. Week 3, Data and evaluation and build your tokenizer. Week 4, Post training and train your model. 4 weeks, about an hour a day. That's the whole plan. The entire map is a free PDF. All 18 lectures with verdicts and what each one unlocks. The 4-week calendar, every repository link, and the prerequisites to check before you start. Comment the word Stanford on this video on YouTube or Facebook, and our assistant sends it over. Or grab it directly at hyperautomationlabs.co/free/Stanford. If you're just getting started with AI tools themselves, the beginner guides are linked below: the complete Cloud Code guide, the Codex guide, the Cowork sales guide, and the architect prep kit. Step by step from zero. We're on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram as Hyper Automation Labs. Same name everywhere. Last thing. The difference between people who use AI and people who understand it was never talent. It was access. And access just stopped being the excuse. Lecture 1. Tonight, 1.5 speed. Next time a model does something weird, you won't shrug. You'll know which lecture explained it. See you in the next one.